So everyone, today we're going to have a little chat about university and life and hopes and dreams and the pitfalls of education. I suppose from my own personal point of view, I never really knew what I wanted to do when I was a kid. I was always into acting and performing and stuff like that. I did a lot of drawing when I was young. I used to draw to my heart's content. That's all I kind of did. This was an age before internet, even before mobile phones. So that's how I kind of spent my time. At school, I did art and media studies for A-level, and the kind of natural progression from then on was to go to university, as was kind of expected at the time, still the case now. And I went to kind of a media-related subject to university. I suppose what we're kind of chatting about today is how useful is university? How kind of useful is it for people's development? Is it a must-do in today's world? Do you have to do it? I suppose what we're going to look at as well. I mean, I guess we could start with a question. When you were younger, okay, think back now. Think back to when you were little sprogs of kiddies, or kiddies of sprogs even. Did you know what you wanted to do when you grew up? Was it always kind of there for you? And how did that kind of evolve into education? We'll start with you.
I think there's a select few people in their life who, when they're young, know what they want to do and they do it when they grow older. I think life is a whole progressive type of thing. You just stumble upon the thing you're meant to do and it's like, hey, this is my passion, this is my career. But I will say university is a big part of that, especially it's needed more now than it ever was, because we're seeing so many people. Sorry, I'm taking away the space. No, you're
no, it's all go. We'll all sort of chip in as and when. So no,
we're seeing so many influencers, like when YouTube first started, right? Remember the first influencers? You like the waffle guy or shoes. Oh my God, shoes. All these people starting early 2007, 2008, millennials, if you will, now have phased into we're 35, 36, 37. We want to figure out our next move.
Yeah. So people are working out what they want to do much later in life is kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think that's the case.
No, actually.
You know?
No, they're looking for jobs now.
Yes.
Because they've been doing this whole social media kick. And after a certain, 10 years, we've all phased out of listening and spending so much time listening to podcasts, watching TikToks, or, going to YouTube, that we don't actually spend that time listening to those people grow their platforms. So now they're losing money. So now they're having to go, okay, now I can fall back on my university degree.
Okay.
But those who don't have that, now they're trying to figure out the next move.
I think a number of reasons. It does definitely depend on the role that you're going for or the profession. Say engineering and medical, it's very much valued. But I would say it's not valued in every sort of form of jobs that candidates could be possibly going for. For example, if you were doing sales or something like that, you can get into that without doing that. But I think the overall aspect of university of, going down a specific subject route a lot of the time and getting yourself into a lot of debt makes it a sort of valued proposition to a lot of employers.
So you're sort of saying it's like a safety net?
It's a safety net. And before I would say that, you don't need it. You can become an influencer, OnlyFans, whatever. Yeah. But I think you definitely need some type of trade or university.
Now people are making money.
But it's only going to last 10 years.
Is that right?
That's what I'm saying. Because once you phase out of that, everybody has a new life.
So do you phase out that just because you get older or just because you've done your thing and nothing lasts forever in terms of...
It depends.
That kind of
field. It depends on how you started. Let's say,
if you want to get into the arts or anything like that kind of start, or being an influencer, I think it's quite a good launch pad because you get noticed, right? And that can propel you onto bigger and better things, right?
It can, but how many of those influencers are great artists where you're like, I have to go see them in the next Bond film? Come on, you know what I mean?
Okay, so Owen. Hello.
Hi, hello. Yeah.
University. Did you go?
Yeah, I did. Just talking about the influencers, I don't think I've met a single real-life influencer in my life, and it seems like an alien thing to me.
Do you know what? Nor have I, really. But they do exist.
They do exist. They do
big
exist.
Numbers.
Yeah, I've just realised I've never met one before, so I don't know.
Before we go further, quick question. Who here is a millennial?
I get confused as to what that actually is.
Break down the years. Can you break down the years? Do you know the years?
Yeah, I do know the years. So a millennial is anyone born between 1981 and 1996,
Oh, yes.
I believe. So I think we are all millennials.
Yeah.
We're all millennials.
Just scraped in there myself.
We're talking about university from a young person's perspective. I mean, since we went, a whole new generation of people are going to university. And I suppose what I was going to ask you, Owen, is did you go and was it worthwhile for you?
Yeah, I did go, but I went because my parents thought that's what you do. My brother went to university, so I went to university. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, really. I mean, I wanted to be a vet, I wanted to be a doctor, I wanted to do all sorts, you know. And then it came to the point where, okay, I've got to make a decision now. Right, I'm 18, I'm gonna go to university. The first 2 years, I just went nuts and just drunk,
Yeah.
crazy, ate pizza. I put on about 1.5 stones. And
That's really similar to my university first year as well. Lots of pizza, lots of drinking, took no care of myself.
No, none. I didn't know how to, though. That's the
No,
thing.
this is it.
I wasn't prepared
would
for
you
it.
say that you made the decision to go to university or your parents made the decision? And in terms of the course, was it your choice or more your parents'
The course I chose, but I mean, I had to go to university. In fact, I went to the same university as my older brother. Because I just, that is how sort of
So was it
it's
like an
turned out.
expectation for you then, rather
Yeah.
than actually something you wanted and needed to do?
But I didn't even think about not going because it was so ingrained
same.
in my upbringing that, of course, I'm going to go. What else am I going to do?
Oh, that's so interesting.
But then only in the final year did I realise, I need to do this because the dread of reality was creeping in.
I think universities can support students with the transition into the workplace by trying just generally more work experience. You know, try partnering up with more companies. I mean, you've got, you know, like say if you're doing finance, you might, you know, the university might be partnering up with, you know, big finance firms or something like that. But, you know, for a lot of courses or degrees, it wouldn't necessarily. So that's the push to try and find companies that can do that to get the work experience. You know, companies can benefit from it as well. Don't necessarily have to pay. You know, for the work, but they're still getting people who are getting an insight, but they could also get a first opportunity to get these graduates on board. You know, there's lots of graduate programs out there that big companies go for, but smaller companies could do it as well.
Can I say our university experience sound very, very similar in
Right.
many, many ways. From the pizza and the misery of the first year to the kind of final realization of the first year is, I have to kind of do something now.
You don't
I found I applied myself a lot more in the third year and found my feet a lot
100%.
more in the third year.
Yeah.
Whereas in the first year, especially, I was just a scared little child, really.
Yeah, a child, very much so.
Yeah. Even though I was
It's important. Like, if you didn't have that experience of like, life, blah, 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 I'm a freshman, sophomore, blah. And then the third year, you're like, holy crap, I've got to get my stuff together. If you go through life and you just go, I have time, you meet this fate where it's like, now what do I do? But because you had, I have time, there's a deadline, get it together, it made you a proper adult, as opposed to we see some 25, 26-year-olds, who are struggling to figure out, they're having like these midlife crises at 25.
Quarter life crisis, aren't they? Yeah.
But see, that's new because why are we saying that? Like,
I think you've got your whole life ahead of you at that age. Like,
but they don't know because
don't
they're
know
not
that
an
'cause
influencer.
to
They're
their
not
self.
making money. Like, they're not making 100,000 pounds a day like their friends who are on
That's crazy.
TikTok campaigns. But has a short lifespan of like.
do you think that's more of an American phenomenon, the whole TikTok
No,
thing?
no.
That's kind of global,
It's actually-
westernized,
yeah,
or globally.
Yeah, it's except for like China. Like, they use it for educational purposes there. It's not their TikTok.
How do you mean? In what sense?
Their TikTok is totally different. They don't do dance moves. They don't do everything is education based on their TikTok.
In China?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It's
And
nothing like the
government regulated, presumably.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been talking to a number of my clients about this recently. There's a general feeling they're not prepared as well as they possibly could be. I mean, you do have your year out, which definitely helps for a lot of courses. But besides that, you're not necessarily working the same hours. You're not necessarily doing specific, day-to-day work. You might be doing some marketing course or marketing project or whatever. But when you go into the workplace to get to that status, that might be a manager status. So you've got to do all the grunt work before, as it were. So I believe there could be a lot more preparation between the university and the workplace.
Do you feel that the university itself actually kind of encouraged you to just kind of slob off in year 1 and 2, and then year 3 it was like, by the way, deadline and tests and all this lot. Is that kind of felt?
I personally think that our tutors could have been a bit more hard, a bit more harsh. I mean, there's kind of, when you go to uni, you're treated more like an adult, but I think in some cases you actually shouldn't be. just kind of, and I think my course especially was kind of, we were the guinea pigs. It was an early. It was the second year our course existed at that university. I won't name
still finding its
for legal reasons. I won't name it, not the university, but you know what I mean. But it was a very much an early early birds course. We were the second year ever to do that course. So yeah, I mean, it could have been better in terms of level of tutoring. And I'm thinking, was that worth money? Worth the money I paid for it, or my parents paid for it, put towards it? Possibly not. From my point of view.
Right.
Was it a beneficial experience? In the long run, possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a degree from it. I did graduate.
And have you used your degree in life, do you think?
Well, yes and no, because it was a media-related degree, and I have done things in that field, and gone on to do things in that field. Would I have gone on to those things without doing the degree? Possibly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's hard to say how much it's actually done.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a while ago as well, so I don't know. I mean, how about you? What did you do study-wise when you were younger?
I went to drama school, so
okay.
Mine was a bit more like I guess more like an apprenticeship, because it was sort of focused on one thing very intensely, and we were out there actually learning it and honing the craft. So it was a bit more like an apprenticeship, and it's opened a lot of doors for me since as an actor. I think. I don't know, I guess it's a bit the same for you guys. I guess nowadays people just want to know that you went to university rather than what you actually did and what one you went to. It's more just a tick box. And I guess as an actor, that's kind of the same thing.
It seems to be quite an important tick box for employers, right?
Yeah. It means that you're trainable. That's it. They want to see, they want to see that they can train. Because I've been on both sides. I went to drama school, but I also did 3 degrees as a, what do you say, corporate type of degrees. So they want to see, okay, can we train this person? Have they already been through a training system and streamlined?
So it shows you can apply knowledge and discipline, essentially.
Yeah.
Right, okay. That's that. I guess that's kind of what it's about, isn't it?
It really does depend on the profession. Like I say, if you are going into one that definitely needs a degree, but if you're going into some more generalist professions, sales, etc., getting to the depths for it, I don't think it's necessarily worth it, because when employers are looking for people, they are looking for experience. It is. I would say that the degree is definitely considered a badge of honour. And people say, wow, they've survived university, they've got themselves in debt, they're going to want to work harder than maybe some others. But for a lot of jobs, I would say no.
Cutthroat world of employers. You've got 1,000 candidates. You're going to choose the ones straight away, the ones that have got a degree, regardless of ability. And then after that, a lot of the time, they don't even check to specify what degree you've got it in. As you say, it's just, can you apply yourself? And are you able to follow instructions pretty much? And, and generally that's how it is.
Well, I've seen some of the degrees that you can do. You can do one in I think it's Taylor Swift, they're bringing out one now. A degree in Taylor Swift. So you can say, yes, I went to university.
Is that a 3-year course?
I don't know. I've got no idea. Could be an era. But I just think that's so strange. You can go to university to do something like that now.
And I'm like, a Star Wars degree, which sounds, by the way, awesome. I would actually do a Star Wars degree. I'd go back now and do a degree in Star Wars. I think I need one. I love Star Wars.
Is that just a tick box to say I went to university, or is it actually going to get you something?
What sort of jobs could you get with a Taylor Swift or a Star Wars degree?
Basically, let's say there's someone who, here in the UK, maybe they struggle with their A levels, they didn't do so well, or their GCSEs or whatever, poor rating or whatever. They don't really get into university, or they don't have the option to get into a good university. Yeah. So maybe they're like, I'm going to go to university and do this Taylor Swift course. Because this course is new, they're accepting, lower level applicants. So now when that person graduates, they can put, I went to university. I don't have to say it was Taylor Swift. It could have been musical cultural studies.
Do you not need
you
to
don't
say
have
your
to
degrees
say
in there? Surely you do.
No, you can. The degree probably isn't in Taylor Swift. It's probably from a college, so it'd be like College of Arts and Science. discipline Taylor Swift studies, but you can say
don't
it's
have to put
musical
the discipline
theory,
on
history. You can change it up. I do it on my CV.
Am I right in thinking most employers don't ask for a proof of your degree, a certificate?
No one does. Who's going to do that? You know, AI actually picks you when you apply for a job. No one does that.
Amazing.
That's why you should put on your CV in white letters, hire me, because AI will pick that up. No, I'm so serious. I used to work in recruitment.
Really? That's terrifying.
So it's basically going, I went to university to do a Taylor Swift degree. But I went to university, it's fine.
I don't think there's anything wrong with a Taylor Swift degree.
I think it's marvellous.
It shows that you
marvellous.
can analyse the culture. You write a dissertation of 10,000 words. You can formulate your ideas, and even though it is a topic that we may not seem worthy, it still is showing you that you can apply yourself.
Taylor Swift is worthy. What are you saying?
It's not about Taylor Swift, the person. It's about the culture surrounding her. She's earned billions of dollars, and she's a phenomenon. Whether you like her music or not, you've got to appreciate the influence that she has on culture as a whole, and that can be a way to analyse and to get your degree.
When employers are looking at recent graduates, like I say, it does very much depend on the roles. But yes, they're looking at the degree. If it's a relevant role, like we said, sort of medical or engineering or something, or marketing. But experience is very much, a key thing. Even if they've done a year out that's relevant, something like that, or the end of year assignment, that sort of thing is looked at as a transferable skill.
So Taylor Swift aside, how are we feeling about hands up who thinks university was a good thing for them and doesn't regret going? We'll include drama school in this. Let's include drama school.
I'd say drama school definitely was
It was
something
higher
for me,
education, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So no one regrets it if they raise their hand, right?
I'm seeing a hand not going up. I'm seeing a hand going for some water here. But
Yeah, I know. It's a bit attempted there. No, I don't regret it. It's just I wouldn't have my friends, and I've got lifelong friends, and I've created this bond with these people that I would never have had before.
So your main core of friends are from uni. Would you say your main core of friends are from uni?
Yeah, definitely. They're my best friends. And also, I'm forever going to be paying the student loan,
Okay, so
that's
would
1%
we
of...
maybe say then that, especially in Britain, I don't know exactly the same in America, but in England, it seems to be a case of it's more of a rite of passage now. And you go there to make your friends, you go there to have the partying. And I know a lot of people who didn't go to university who go, I wonder if I missed out on 3 years of partying and meeting people and things like that.
At what cost, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is
worth that?
Well, I think it used to be that case maybe 20 years ago, but I think now things are moving forward with apprenticeships. You can get apprenticeship degrees, so you're actually getting paid to do a job, and you're learning as well, and by the end of it, you've got yourself a degree, and you're not in debt afterwards. I think that's a no-brainer.
So apprenticeship degrees, I think it's 2015, 2016 it originally sort of came out. I don't think employees are noticing it as much, but for the few of my clients that do notice it, I would say that the apprenticeship degree is a bit more valued because it's got the experience with it. But one thing I'd say is that from my, I'm talking this from my point of view, and I'm, have an agency, a recruitment agency, and when we have companies come to us, they come to us for the skills already, as it were. We don't deal with the graduate recruitment programs as much.
So I was just doing some Googling actually earlier, and the recent research by the Student Room, who are quite a reputable source, reveals that 1 in 5 students feel that they've made the wrong choice for university and do regret it. So 1 in 5.
Wait, so they're asking people who are currently studying?
Feel they've made the wrong. That's
so
a good
of course
question.
You're going to say that because you're
key statistics. If you were given the choice again, would you choose to study at your university? Yes, 79%. No, 20%. So.
And these are all students.
Yes.
But you can't ask people when they're going through the thick of it in any situation. I went to Central School of Speech and Drama. When I was in drama school, if you asked me, do you regret going to drama school? My answer would be yes, because I was struggling. I was in a country I didn't know anything.
Those people who just graduated, I'm assuming.
Oh, are they? But it said students.
So. We need to look into that disclaimer.
But when you're going through the thick of it, a lot of times you're not going to really see the end of it because you're trying to figure yourself
Especially
out.
when you're young as well, and that's possibly the hardest thing you've had to do so far.
Yeah.
So you are like, no, this is such a struggle, it's a pain. And you're like, oh, you haven't got to paying taxes yet.
Yeah, that's the pain.
I guess going back to the partying thing as well, obviously that's like a big part of university life.
Yeah, it's a huge part of it.
Part.
Indirectly, though, that's not the point of it.
Which is
It's a side effect, but
I
yet
think
that
for
is
many,
the thing that people go for.
Yeah, I think for
That
many
also
it's
goes on the brochures.
Yeah,
the
but
amount of universities that a whole page dedicated to look at the bars that we have, look at the partying life that we have, and you're like, well,
but that's
I'm
not
supposed
university.
to be there. Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
I think for many, like that social life supersedes the education.
Oh yeah.
But at least that used to be the case. But I think with Gen Z, and you may disagree with me on this, but I think Gen Z are a little more disciplined, and they're a little more inclined to work hard and achieve kind of more than...
Is Gen Z the one below us? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. just checking.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to throw shade there.
People roughly being born between 96 and 2012 fall into the Gen Z bracket, as far as I know. So it's the younger generation, and I think they seem to be a bit more applied in where they want to go, what they want to do. Healthy living is now, and that's another thing of like TikTok and Instagram and social media. It's all kind of healthy living and like making the best of yourself and looking after yourself. Whereas sort of 15, 20 years ago, whatever, I think it was more about, have fun, get drunk, party. It's not, I'm not saying that doesn't happen now. It seems to me that there's less onus on that. I don't know if you'd agree with that, Sam. I don't know why I'm asking you, but or anyone else.
Only because I have a brother and he's Gen Z, and I see like around his friends and the difference between, it's such a big difference because we're 10 years apart, me and my brother. And Gen Z, I could be wrong, they really don't feel like there's a need to do so many, what's the word you would use? Like practical things that we did. They're more focused on, in anything, how much free time do I get and how much money will I get? Because if they have to spend too much time in a job, if they don't get at least, if they don't get 6 months off in a year, they don't really want to be there.
I wouldn't personally dismiss an application based on lack of university education, but obviously I work for certain clients basically. I mean, if I felt there's any sort of discrimination and the job didn't need it, I would obviously fight that with a client. That hasn't happened to this point anyway. It would partly depend on the job. You know, when we're taking certain jobs, they say, must have a degree in, say, marketing or mathematics or something like that. So yeah, if it was a criteria for the job, I would, and it was relevant, but otherwise no.
Yes, and because we're millennial, we're in the like work hard but work less phase. We're right in between. Yeah,
exactly.
We struggle because we're like, we feel like we should be having more free time to live, but we need to work hard to earn.
But I think that thought process is now slowly sifting through to millennials, and we're like thinking, do you know what? Hang on. In some cases, we're being treated like muck in jobs that we're not really enjoying for probably less money than we'd hope to be earning. And we think, hang on, these Gen Zs, actually, they've got their head screwed on.
Very true. I think a lot of people, obviously, since the pandemic as well, have seen the benefit of working from home and remote working and things like that. And I think a lot of things like marketing have become massively popular because you can do that from home, and therefore you get a hell of a lot more free time. I think it's a bit more beneficial for you, so you're not commuting, you're not in the office all the time. So I think a lot of young people are interested in more things like that, and they can also do it away. So travel seems to be such a big thing for them, and therefore a job that they can do at home, they can travel with it.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a big thing for them, which is great. I think that's really lovely. But at the same time, I also worry that we are losing practical skills. Builders, electricians, plumbers, people don't want to be that anymore because you've got to be at the place. You can't go and do that in Spain. You have to be here for that.
And I think people want, not everyone, but I think a lot of young people want sort of glamour in their jobs.
Yeah, a lot more glamorous, but we need plumbers, electricians, builders. We need these people.
And they paid very well, those jobs.
They paid so well,
They paid well, and most of those jobs come through an apprenticeship, not university. So if you can get the next generation keen to just think about where do you want to be and what do you want to do? Do you work to live or do you live to work? I mean, if you work as a plumber, you're self-employed, you're your own boss, and you can get as much work as you can, very well paid, through an apprenticeship, and then you choose the shifts that you want.
Work experience is more valued than a degree in most jobs, and companies would much prefer that. I mean, if it's an admin job that a lot of people could do, that might be a different case. But work experience is definitely much more valued.
Going back, I'd probably say an apprenticeship is more of a natural course for me, because rather than going to university and paying these fees and, wasting the first couple of years and then making up for it sort of in the final year, and then you've got that debt afterwards. I'm still going to pay my debt in my 70s and 80s. My student loan comes out automatically every month. That 1% interest rate on the student loan, if you've got like £15,000, 1% of that each month, even though you're paying £200 a month, the student loan does not go down. You're just paying the interest forever. Yeah,
Nothing goes towards the principal at all.
Not really. No, not unless you're earning probably 80,000, 100,000 a year. You're just purely you're paying for the rest of your life.
And how much did you say you pay a month?
Probably about 300
a month.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
300 a month.
Yeah. So from your point of view, just doing that apprenticeship would have been more beneficial.
Yes, but having said that, I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I got in university. So even though I don't use all of the practical skills day to day, I can't imagine my life not going to university. I just can't imagine it. So I'm glad I went.
Social bonds that you made through that.
Yeah,
you made.
I'm glad I went.
Yeah.
But
It's funny 'cause,
different time now, isn't it? Maybe if I was the same age now, I might have made a different decision. But
again, we're expecting sort of 16, 17, 18-year-olds to make this huge life decision. And you think back at it, obviously at the time you think you're so grown up, but looking back, you're still such a child.
Yeah,
you
it's
are an
crazy.
absolute
I think it's
baby.
too early to force those kind of decisions.
It's so early.
I think schools could do a little bit more. I think it's always harder for the transition from GCSEs to A-levels to degrees. I think colleges and A-level level at schools, there's a little bit more information. I don't think they help much on the whole debt side. I think it could be a lot more communicative or communicated better, than it is now, basically. And, you've got people who go into it and they think, oh, yes, well, it's lower interest rates, but they don't understand what will happen, what they have to earn at the end. But then at the same time, it seems to change quite a bit as well. So you could be told now, but then when you come out into the workplace in 3-4 years' time, it could change. But I think, there should be a sort of, this is what's happening now. So you can go into university, but this is what you could be possibly pay if you earn £25,000, £20,000 or whatever.
I think now we're living in a society where people stay younger for older, if that makes sense. I think people settle down later. They do all the things that, our parents did a lot later in life, right? And I think there's different attitudes and different things expected of younger people. And I think people now can have career changes later in life, which I think is a really good thing.
That's the great thing. We can change our careers so many times, whereas back in our parents' day and our grandparents' day, you kind of just stayed in that avenue for life. And that's probably where apprenticeships were better, because you were trained for that and that's where you stayed. And, you go back in history, that's what people did. Your family was the Smiths, your family was the chefs, your family was this, and you just stayed there. And I guess in a way that was great, but at the same time, not everybody is just meant to be that because your parents were. You kind of want to be something else.
is anybody thinking of doing another course or going back to university now?
I flirted with the idea of doing a master's recently.
Okay,
I'm still sort of flirting with it.
In media?
Journalism, actually.
What made you think to do that?
I feel like just get more sort of qualifications on them about, pursue something different, sort of move away and do something different in a different place and really apply myself to something different, something I can achieve, something to work towards. It's
So
quite an
you wouldn't go
exciting
back to the
thing.
same university, you'd go somewhere?
Oh no, God, no.
okay.
No. Again, I won't name the university. But no, I wouldn't. I'd go somewhere different. I'm thinking about that, but then it's money and all these other sort of things. It's a possibility, but I think it's there, kind of in the back of my head. But yeah. I mean, socially, like you said, you made loads of friends in university, and you're still friends.
Oh, they're my best friends. They're my best
I have to
friends.
say, most of my friends are still my school friends. So it's weird. I like quite a lot of close friends from school. University, I'm not in touch with anyone from university.
That's quite a UK thing.
I think so.
Yeah, that's quite a UK thing. That is so weird. You guys are friends with the same friends from when you were 3 years old. It's not like that in the US. Like, why? You're 39 and you still have the same friends from when you were 5? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
We kind of do. I mean, I have made other friends along the way. It's not just people from school, but yeah, me personally, I I made friends at university, kind of acquaintances, friends, but they haven't remained close friends, and I'm not friends with anyone from university now.
Okay, so mine's sort of, a mixture of both. So I've got friends from school and I've got friends from uni as well. But in America, is it just the ones that you pick up along the way?
You just make friends from all over. But yeah, not the same. Oh my gosh, if I had the same friends from when I was in first grade, it would be problematic.
I've got some friends from Wales that I'll meet up with them once a year and we'll have a little reunion. But the fact you're having a reunion means that you're not friends because you're having a reunion. But my closest friends are the ones that I went to university with. Like, they're my best friends.
Okay.
I'll talk to them every day pretty much on WhatsApp, or, we'll do send some funny memes. I actually married one of my friends from university.
Oh, congratulations. That's amazing.
You got married. You're married.
Well,
You're married.
I am married. No, I am married. I didn't marry my friend from university. I'm married, but I married my friend in Greece.
So, so you were the priest or the vicar, or you were the person that gave...
Yeah.
Oh, you ordained it, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay, there we go.
Yeah, so I was ordained.
Your person that you're married to now, did you meet them at university?
No, I met her at college.
Oh, so you did college and then university?
I did college and university, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
Okay. So you're married...
I'm married.
And you married someone.
And I... Yes.
I see.
Yes.
Multiple
Makes
marriages
sense.
going on.
Yeah.
The person you married, you didn't meet at university.
No, I met her at college.
As in the person you
Oh,
got
the person
wed
I
to.
married was in university, yes.
I'm really confused.
I performed...
So the people that he ordained, he met at university, but the person
Yes.
he actually wed himself, he met at college.
That was confusing.
There we go.
My bad.
Both education, though. Both
Yeah.
higher
Both
education.
Yeah, so it's worth going to university. It's, you create these bonds with people. I mean, it's incredibly expensive. At what cost is it, though? It's so expensive.
Okay, well there you go. I didn't go to uni, so how much has it cost you lot? As in, like, actual, do you know the figures?
No.
Do you want to think about it?
I'm not really properly paying it back yet. So, So, do I know the figures? Not really. It's just something I've kind of like forgotten about and pushed to the back of my mind. Like, oh, that doesn't exist. That just, and that's kind of how it is for a lot of people, I think.
That's the best way to do it, to deal with it, because otherwise, if you think about it, it's insane.
Can you postpone the payment back then? Is that something you can
Well,
do?
you have to be over a certain threshold.
Yeah. So I've got my tuition fees and student loans about 15,000 at the start. It was in total 15,000, and I think the interest rate is something like 1% off that. So 1% doesn't sound like a lot, but if it's £15,000, that is a lot. So I'm paying it back. Automatically it comes out of my paycheck, and it's about £300 a month, every month. And I'm not even paying it off. I'm just paying the interest. So I know for a fact
It's not even going down?
No, it's not going down.
Wow.
No, so I'm just going to be paid for the rest of my life. And you're right, just forget about it, head in the sand, because if you think about it too much, it is depressing.
I mean, I think from a debt point of view, when you're coming out of university, I mean, people who go to university now are walking out as a minimum with about 40 grand's worth of debt. You can get subsidies. My daughter, for example, she's got a 50% reduction, which everyone can get, but she'll still walk out with a minimum of £42,000 worth of debt. So one thing it's done is pushed up graduate entry level type salaries. Because there used to be £18,000 not so long ago. Now graduates can walk out expecting 26 to 30 odd grand basically. For a lot of roles. So I think that the debt impact is having an effect on employers who are taking in graduates, but also obviously a big impact on people going into it as well.
So Sam, actually, you're looking a bit confused. So I wanted to know, how does this differ in the States in terms of how you pay for university? Like, is it the same system? Different system? Is it more expensive, cheaper?
It's more expensive, but it's different because I know here, if you universities maybe like £9,000 a year, it's quite like affordable if you're our in-state tuition is similar but much higher. But for me, because I was an international student, it was maybe like 20,000 for the year. Wow. Yeah, so I took a US loan to pay for my UK schooling fees, so I owe maybe $29,000 to the US.
Wow.
But I don't have to pay right now because in America I'm not making any money. So I'm below the threshold, so I don't have to pay it
in your native country, America, rather than here. So you could be earning a fortune here, but not having to pay it back because you're. That's cool.
Might want to cut that, but
But while that's happening, interest is accruing on that?
I think they freeze the interest.
Do
I
they?
think because there's a new like payment plan that Biden set up. It's called like the Plus Save or something like that, and they freeze it. But once you start earning a certain amount of money, you have to pay, and it's like what you would have to do. Like they take as much as they think is necessary for you to pay back.
And you're not paying it off. You're just keeping it going. You're just keeping it going, sliding the wheels, greasing the
I have
wheels.
a plan. So you were asking if we're going back to university. I'm not going back to university, but I'm going to take a course in IT cybersecurity.
Oh.
Because baby,
Oh, wow.
let me tell you what's happening. So basically there's so many, because of AI and all these things, there's not enough people working in cybersecurity and IT. And they're all like, the starting salary is £250,000.
Oh.
Sign me up.
And you can take
Starting
a 1 month course and learn like the basics and then become like an OG and just get, rack up the coins. Yeah, it's like
Insane. So you can potentially work for the FBI or
anywhere.
something
Like
that.
it's
can
so
see you
it's
with
in
the
high
FBI.
demand. It's kind of like during the with Brexit when everyone left and that we needed people to be truckers and they were hiring all these and we were paying like $200,000 for truckers to come over.
Going back to that point you made about not having to pay student loans back because you're in another country, is that the same for us? If we were to move abroad and start earning big bucks in, I don't know, France or America or wherever, Australia, would we then have to pay
I can answer that
You can
question.
answer it?
Yeah, I can. My brother went to university and then he moved to America. He's been living there for over 15 years. And I think it was this year that his student loan got signed off because he lived outside of the UK for such a long period of time. So it gets written off.
Moral of today is move abroad. If there's anything to take away from this week's show,
So at the end of the day, you ones that have this debt, do you think it was worth it? Like, do you think university is worth the debt that you have? Was it worth the things that you've got from university?
Well, back then, yes. Doing it now, I'd probably say no, because everything is so much more expensive. Money is tighter. I don't think I would have been able to afford it.
Would you have done an apprenticeship?
I would have done an apprenticeship in some aspect. Yeah, this day and age, it's impossible. I don't know how people can do that now with the cost of living crisis.
I'm going to say short answer, no with a but. Long answer, yes with an if.
So a slow yes? Is that what?
Essentially, yeah. So racist.
What about you, Sal? Do you think it was worth it?
I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
I think it's necessary. And I know we're in this weird phase where the world's like, don't go to university. It's a mind trap and a money trap. But I think we'll be better for it in the future for those who have, completed that journey. So we shouldn't turn everyone off
It has
of it.
become something that everyone just does by default. You finish school, you go to university. That kind of started in the late 90s when Tony Blair came in. It was education. He pushed for everyone to go to university, even people from like lower class backgrounds. He really encouraged that. That's kind of where we are now in terms of everyone has a chance to go to university.
Although
he didn't necessarily make it more affordable.
No, he scrapped the grant. He scrapped the grant.
Right. Yeah.
Which meant that instead of being given money, you had to get a student loan.
Student loan instead of, yes.
Yeah, so you have to pay that back.
The bits, and it was based on advice she had from each college, and they basically said, look, if you're not sure what you want to do, don't go and get a degree because you don't, it's not going to help you in a career, and you'll just get yourself in a load of debt for nothing. So that was good advice, but not necessarily specific or as rounded to the individual. But as a generous advice, that was quite good, I thought.
She always had a crush on Tony Blair. She met him once.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
When she came to the UK. Yeah, she was like, I love him. So that's,
Totally off topic. Best looking Prime Minister to date?
It's got to be Margaret Thatcher, surely.
Yeah? You're going to say Thatcher? Oh no, here's a joke.
Theresa May, obviously.
Really? There's only been two female.
Yes.
David Cameron. David Cameron.
Is that what it is?
He's not a bad-looking man, but I just hate politicians.
Just in general.
Just in general.
Yeah, I mean, slightly off topic for the end here, but it's been a fab discussion, guys. Thank you very much. I hope we've kind of helped some people out there kind of make informed decisions.
Yeah.
As the wise people we
Go
are.
if you want to, don't if you don't.
Simple. Well, essentially.
No.
Hello, my name's Alfie Larkley, third year student at the University of West London on the Air Transport Management course. If you are a prospective university student, I'd highly recommend it. It covers loads of aviation topics, from route planning to calculations, marketing, and everything you can imagine with aviation.
I'd say it is, but I feel like with the price of it, I'm not sure yet if it actually is worth it. Because I'm still in first year, but I'm enjoying myself. And I feel like I'm learning a lot, but I don't think I'm going to fully know if it's worth it until I finish my course, I guess.
I've been studying criminology right now at the University of West London. I've learned quite a lot on my course, not only academically, but it's helped me improve my social skills. I've joined the basketball team last year. So I'd like to think, yes, overall it's been very good.
For third-time courses, it's worth the money. Medicine, law, and aviation, you should attend university. But in my opinion, for third-time careers, you actually don't need to attend university or spend that much of money when you can afford to get a job after the university, in my opinion.